Okay, Beshem Hashem Nasib Nastiach. Another shiur. It's from Sefer Harav Ben Ishchai Alav Shalom, the Halachot of Netilat Yadayim, which is brought in Parashat Toldot, first year. So, how do we make Netilat Yadayim? In the morning. So, Betachila he told Keli Hamayim Beyado Ayamanit. Now, this is important. A lot of people showed interest to know how to make Netilat Yadayim, especially because Harav Netanyahu expresses a lot of importance into Netilah, that Netilat Yadayim, washing our hands, really removes the impurity and all the kochot ra'ot from our hands. So how do you do that? In the morning, one should have the keli, right, pick it up with his right hand and give it to his left hand. The left hand pours the water onto the right hand, and after that the right hand should pour onto the left hand, and repeats this 3 times. That would be 6 times altogether. As serugin, which is first is left pours to right, then right to left. So right left, right left, right left. And it's important, Rabbi Nishchai says, "Velo tirchasem lekol yad bifnei asma shalosh pa'amim baze achazeh ki lo te'aker ruach ra'a ela davka berechisa shel serugin." That if a person comes and he pours 3 times water on his right hand and 3 times left hand, that wouldn't help. That would not remove the tum'ah. As it is written, so there is a special reason why we do serugin every other one. It is also brought in Shar Kavanot according to Arizal. ויש מלאכים שלא תקבל יד הימנית את הכלי מיד השמאלית בשום פעם. There are those who are makpid, strict, that they would not accept the container from the left hand. Rather, the left hand, after the water is poured in the keli, after the water, the left hand poured it onto the right hand, would put it down, and then the right hand would pick it up. But the right hand could give it to the left hand, no problem. Now, what is this reason? Why? What is the reason that we make netilah only on our hands? Right? So, Rabbi Nishchai explains like this: Mipenei ki hayadayim v'araglayim hem sof v'siyom aguf. That our hands and our feet are the end of our parts, our body. ובאדם מתפשטים 5 גבולות בנספח, and there is 5 powers of that are גבולות, שהם אותיות כפולות, 5 ו-5, that there are 5 and 5, like the 5 fingers of each hand. Okay, going hem 5 אצבעות בימין ו5 בשמאל, as we said, corresponding these 5 powers, there is 5 fingers on each hand, whether hands or feet. כי אין להם כוח לנהוג מן הקדושה מלמעלה אלא רק בסיום שלה למטה, ולכן בלילה בעת שינה שורר רוח רעה על הידיים. And these five, right, these five powers, right, once the neshama leaves the body, instead the ruach ra comes. And why to the fingers? Because the fingers are the siyum, are the end of one's body. And the impurity can come in there. Therefore, we need to make Netilat Yadayim in the morning after this impurity came to our hands or feet. And why with water? This is important because water is chesed. With chesed, you could remove gevurah. You could remove din. Gevurah is opposite of kindness, chesed. הכולל 5 חסדים. Yeah. Because really, ki le'olam chesed dochet agelipot, that chesed kindness can push back the gelipot. And one should know, if it wouldn't be velulei, if it wouldn't be hasipornaim, shehusmo ba'ashespot, if it wouldn't be because of our fingers, hayu hayadayim temeot afilu beyom afilu belo shena. Without fingers, this impurity would remain, would even come during the days, even without sleeping. So the fingers, the nail at the end of our fingers really causes our hands to be pure during the day. Even if one would not go to sleep, if there would have not been fingernails, right, then there would be impurity. But with the sipornaim and ruach ra shora ela b'layla, with sipornaim, with the fingernails, the impurity comes only at night. And if you come to ask, why don't we wash our feet, toes? Why not pinky? Right? So the answer is brought by Harav Yafe Sha'ah. Shavar Ragdayin Nechazim Yoter Min Al-Yadayim, that there is impurities more found by the feet than the hands. Now, if so, why the Kohanim wash their feet? Only in the Zechut of the Mikdash v'Avodah. Haya lahem koach litchotam gam min haraglayim. They had power that with the Zechut of Beit HaMikdash, once they wash their feet, they would remove the impurity. Right? As the Pasuk says, "V'rachasu Aharon u'banav mimenu et yidehem ve'et raglehem." Ubazeh tavin ta'am chiyuv rechisa erev Shabbat. So, with this we can also understand why there is the obligation that we need to wash our at least face, panav, yadav, raglav. If we can't take full shower, we at least have to wash our face, hands and feet. כי זכות שבת יכולה היא שתערב. So why do we wash? Why we at least have to wash our face, hands and feet? It's not going to help. כי זכות שבת יכולה היא שתקן עד כאן לבדה. Because the zechut of Shabbat can protect us, that this impurity be removed. Second halacha. When we make Netilat Yadayim, we need to make sure that our hands till the end is all washed. Alright? Now, on Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av, we wash ad Rishte Esbaot, till the end of the fingers. So Arizal writes, Yom Kippur Eina Sholetet Kol Kach. Right? Because on Yom Kippur, he says, well, we do until end of the fingers, because there is no Ruach Ra on Yom Kippur. Hashem doesn't allow the Ruach Ra to come. Right? כי כל היום הוא שאלה בעוונותינו הרבים עד כאן לשונו. הלכה ג' After one made Netilat Yadayim, he needs to rub his hands against each other 3 times. Right? As Arizal teaches us. So even though that one time would be enough, shifshuf, one, but according to Rashash, he says, Amasarich Lishosh Shalosh Pamim, needs to be 3 times. Shalosh Pamim. So it's better to do like Rashash 3 times. That this way also, when we rub our hands against each other, right, it makes sure that water goes everywhere, right? Many times, if you notice, if you just pour water, this section of your hand is completely dry. So make sure to rub your hands against each other after Netilat Yadayim. Acha shifshuf לא תניח אצבעותיו כפופים למטה. After we wash our hands, we should not hold our hands like this in the, towards the ground. אלא תקף ומיד, but immediately we need to outstretch our fingers. Yeah. Yeah. So after that, we need to raise our hands like this to in front of our face. Right? The fingers need to be upward like this, not like this, upwards. Right? And this is mentioned in Zohar HaKadosh. That we need to raise our hands. Yeah, and that the time Shaul Hashon. Yeah. Now halacha here. לפי דעת רבינו האריזל, אחר הנטילה כהלכתו 3 פעמים בסירוגין, נאחרת רוח רעה לגמרי. So Arizal says after you do the Netilah in the morning, it removes the ruach ra completely. However, he says, don't put your hand there. Yeah. So we need to make the bracha before we dry our hands. Halacha Vav. When a person wakes up in the morning, immediately needs to make Netilat Yadayim before he touches his clothing. Yeah. So it says that one should put the keli near to his bedside. That immediately after he wakes up, he washes his hand. And his asur is prohibited to walk 4 amot without netilah. That's 2 meters almost. כאשר הביאו על גבי ידו, לכן יזהר כל אדם להביא הכלים סמוך למיטתו. This is what Rav Netanyahu Sheta also recommends. And it's important where you pour, you fill the keli, you fill the container, don't use the water in the restroom where the toilet is in the same room. Rather bring this water from the kitchen or somewhere that the water is more pure. And cover it, that in the morning you could use it.
Okay.
Yes. ויש בני אדם אשר בזמן החול לובשים. So there are those who at night during the winter they wear socks before Netilat Yadayim. That's not the right thing. Yeah. אם רע משתתו ולא מסר כלי הנטילה סמוכה אלא סמוכה לבית. ואם רע משתתו ולא מסר כלי, if he woke up, he didn't find כלי, or it's far away, and cannot tell anybody to bring the water to him, then what he should do, he should go less than 4 amot and stops. Less than 2 meters stops. Yeah. And if they don't have enough water, then one should wash to the end of the fingers. And later when the water is found, next good netilah, the whole hand. Now, one who made Halachot Netilat Yadayim in the morning should not pour out that water onto the ground.
ולמדו מדרש, הלכות והגדות, אבל לא ילמדו מכמה דברים, שלי כמה נלאה, לא שלי כמה נלאה, משהו, כמו שאני זכר מכמה, אני זכר למדרש, מה עם פסקה, כמה שאתה אפילו משהו זכר למקרא של משכם המדרש.
Right. הלכה ט' לא יברך ולא ילמד כנגד כלי הנטילה שבו בו הנטילה. In the container that you use, right, if the water that you use for Netilat Yadayim, if it's in the container, you cannot say bracha, halakha tet, in front of that water, because that water is so impure. Right? You cannot say bracha, you cannot learn Torah until you either cover that water or take it out. It is like the urine. It's very tameh.
כמה שנתתי לו, כמה שנתלים, זכר לבדיקה של המשכן המדרש המשכן על המדרש ושאלים משלמש המדרש שלא תרגיעו אותי ציווה שם ואינני ללמד אתכם על המדרש מה ישנה? המדרש שלא תרגיעו אותי ציווה שם ואינני ללמד אתכם דברי לימדתי אתכם חוגים שוגים כמו שציווני השם אני מלמד אתכם.
So, Halakha Yud, Rabbi Shalom says that a person needs to be careful. Husbands, fathers need to tell their wife to make Netilat Yadayim for the kids, even if they are Yonrei Shadayim, that they being nursed by their mother. They need to that kid needs to be his hands needs to be washed with Netilat Yadayim. And one needs to be careful that the kids would not touch food without making a Netilat Yadayim, because there is the Ruach Ra that goes to the food. And there is a big Segula Tova that those who make Netilat Yadayim, they become Talmidei Chachamim. It's important. The person needs to be careful to wash his face every morning. Why? Because of this impurity that comes to his face.
מקרא לגדות
Now, a person should not get Netilat Yadayim from a person who hasn't washed his hands. מי שנתן ידיו ואחר כך נגע בידו של אחר שלא נתן ידיו צריך לחזור איתו פעם שנית. A person who made Netilat Yadayim, but there is another kid who made Netilat Yadayim but without the kavanot. What should be done?
ראיתי. לא למדנו מקרא. מי שלמד על השכר פסוק אלוהים וללמד?
Yes. If a person is asleep during the day, or a person is asleep after midnight, he needs to make Netilat Yadayim. But it doesn't have to be using the keli container. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they don't have can end up with Okay, next halacha Yud Bet. Few more halachot left. Oh no, the continuation is if a person has slept midnight, before the midnight, Shanat Reva, complete sleep, on the bed, it's important. Sleeping on the bed is considered real complete sleeping. And he woke up before Chasot, he needs to make Netilat Yadayim, according to Halacha, and say the Birkat al Netilat Yadayim. Now even though Radha says if a person slept after Chasot, doesn't need to make Netilat Yadayim, and Netilat Yadayim Inehu. Samach levara baze al Seif Yehoz b'penei שנתעורר בחסות החמישה המוחין על ידי הברכות. That there is 5 blessings that come to a person to brachot. So if a person was awake before midnight and didn't say the Birkat HaShachar and went to sleep, according to Rashash, Tzarich Netilat Yadayim b'bracha. When he wakes up in the morning, he needs to make Netilat Yadayim with bracha. ורק אם אכל חסות קודם שישן, ברך ברכות השחר ולמד, תיכון חסות ושמח בתורה, אז כשיריז משנתו בבוקר, יעשה נטילת ידיים 3 פעמים, אבל לא יברך בברכת נטילת ידיים. Yes. So when he wakes up in the morning, he needs to make Netilat Yadayim 3 פעמים. If he didn't sleep, there is no beracha on Netilat Yadayim. אם לא ישן אלא אכל חסות, אף פריגה לפי הרב. Now if a person didn't sleep until after the midnight of halachic midnight, even though the Rishosh says he can say the berachot of he can say the Birkat HaShachar after chasot. Nevertheless, since this person had in mind to go to sleep, right, the minhag is not to give haircut beforehand. The minhag is to give the haircut where the chest is. where the bank. Sorry. מכל מקום כיוון שדעתו לשון אחר החסות מנהגו, so only he makes the Birkat Torah in the morning after Alut HaShachar. The only time that we say the Birkat HaShachar at night after Chasot is when we stay up. Like the night of Hoshana Rabbah or the night of Chag Shavuot. Now the exception is we don't say the Birkat Torah. Yeah. Now in the morning a person needs to be careful, Halachot Tet Vav, not to touch his openings, his mouth, his nose, his ears, his eyes, because the Tum'ah could go into his body through the openings, even if they are closed. But if a person slept during the day or after the midnight, אין צריך להיזהר בכל הנזכר לאל. Doesn't have to be careful. The Tum'ah is not there. Of course, Netilah needs to be done, but the Tum'ah is not like before. אלו דברים שצריכים נטילה 3 פעמים משום לא הכרעה. הרע מן המיטה מן השינה. Now these are the things that the person needs to do Netilat Yadayim 3 times. The person who wakes up after sleeping, a person who comes out from restroom, even though he didn't do anything, he just went into the restroom. Now, if he did not go into the restroom with complete body, he just reached out to take something with his hand, אין שורה עליו רוח רעה כאשר נכנס כל גופו. The impure power would not come to his body. ולכן סגילה בפעם אחת. There is the need for netilah but once, not 3 times. והמחמיר ללחוץ גם בחיי גפנה 3 פעמים. Those who are strict to do netilat yadayim, even if he just reached out to with one of his limbs, still is better. Also, a person who goes to Beit HaKevarot, right, and he goes within the burial Arba Amot, needs to make Netilat Yadayim. Especially a person who touches a dead body needs to make Netilat Yadayim 3 times. אלא עושים כן כדי שלא יסיחו דעתם.
קריאה שמצאו לנו ראשונים שנקראו סופרים. טור, תיבות כתובות שנכתבו ליפות לראשון, נקראות טור לפי שמטריד את הראשון. קריאה ולתיבות כתובות לטובות לבן ולא קריאה שכתובות לנקוד
ודע, a person needs to know, כי אפילו בנכנס לבית הכיסא אין שורה עליו רוח רעה כמו כוח רוח רעה ששורה עליו בשינה. Now, the ruach ra, the impurity that rests upon one's body after sleeping is much more than going to restroom. לכן אין צריך להיזהר בכל הנח לביתי ידך 4 אמות בלא נטילת ידיים. If a person goes to restroom, he doesn't have to go less than 4 amot, 2 meters, till he makes netilat yadayim. There is no, it's not like sleeping. Next הלכה י"ז. ואלו דברים שצריכים נטילה מפני נדנות רוח רעה. דדי להם בפעם אחת ואין צריך 3 פעמים בסירוגין. These are the things that you don't need to do 3 times washing. Only one time is enough. A person who goes to Beit Merchas to take shower. A person who cuts his nails, 1 time is enough. ואלו דברים שאין צריכים נטילה. These are the things that we don't need נטילה. כי אם לכיסה כל דהו, והיינו שיטול ידיו פעם אחת משום נריות. ואלו הן החולס או נועל מנעליו בידיו. If a person just 1 time washing is enough. A person who took off his shoes, שנגע בהם, so his hand came to touch those shoes, or after he put on the shoes, he came to touch them. Now if he touched shoes that burned that are brand new, never was worn, there is no netilah, there is no need for netilah. Right. And also, any time that a person touches places of his body that is usually covered, needs to make netilah. יד ימין שאין מניחין בה תפילין של יד, אם נגע באותו פרק אחר פרק אז רוח צריך וכיסה. If the right hand, a person touches here, that he puts the tefillin, but he doesn't put on the tefillin on his right hand. He's righty, so he puts on the tefillin on the opposite hand, left hand. But he touches the body, he touches his hand, right, above his elbow, needs to make Netilat Yadayim. But if he does the same thing on his left hand, doesn't need to make Netilat Yadayim. Because it is used, his hand is being used every day to put on tefillin. Also, if a lady is nursing her children and needs to nurse and comes to touch her body, her chest, nursing the children, doesn't need to make Netilat Yadayim. שדרכן להיות הגזור אותם לגמרי, אז הם בכלל מקומות המכוסים, וצריכים לכסה אם נהגה בהם. וכן החופף פירושו המפלק אליו. אפילו לא מסע בהם קינה. Now if a person is searching his hair in the older days to find lice, צריך לכסה פעם אחת משום נדוד. Needs to wash his hand because of cleaning. So this concludes all the halachot of Netilat Yadayim of Parashat Toldot, the first year from Halav ben Ishchai. Be'ezrat Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help us that we all do nisvot with kedusha v'tahara v'nomar amen.